How POS encourages fraud in Nigeria. POS Analyzer is an anti-fraud software designed to simplify POS sales account reconciliation. POS is a convenient means of payment between a buyer and a seller. It provides an easy, fast, and convenient means in which a buyer pays the seller. But the implementation of POS solutions in Nigeria has made sales account reconciliation increasingly difficult and tedious. This difficulties has then provided room for manipulation of sales account either by the cashier or POS issuing company or both. What happens when buyer pays using POS? When a buyer pays with POS and the machine shows approved, the buyer's bank account is debited immediately. But unfortunately, the bank does not credit the seller's account immediately until after 1 day if it is a working day and after 3 days if it on a weekend. Same applies for public holidays in Nigeria depending on the number of days. This leaves the seller in darkness for 1 or 2 or 3 days as the case be, before her bank account is credited. This dark period is capable of providing room for financial manipulations or leakages since the transaction between the seller and buyer is not paid on one-on-one basis unlike cash transfer. To make matter worse for the seller after the dark period, her account is credited on lump sum basis. Some banks or POS issuing houses charges the seller commission up to about 0.75% per transaction after keeping the money for between 1 to 3 days. Challenges faced by seller once a buyer pays with POS. Bank reconciliation challenges would include 1. Seller's account is credited in lump not per transaction. This makes it impossible for the seller to match products sold with credited amount. 2. The seller does not have daily closure on daily sales because it will take bank 1 to 3 days before her account is credited. 3. POS printed receipt seizes printed character over time very quickly. Over time the seller may be unable to read the printed receipt. This further puts burden on the seller reconciling her account with the bank. 4. POS sales account reconciliation between the bank and the seller is one-sided because it is only the bank that provides the data for reconciliation. Most business owners do not have accurate POS data to challenge bank data. 5. The POS implementation in Nigeria was designed around cashless policy to reduce burden of printing paper money, ease payment for buyers while the sellers groan in pains. 6. This is the reason why most major markets in Lagos, Nigeria do not accept POS payment except transfer because in transfer there is instant closure between the buyer and the seller. 7. Different algorithm used by different banks to charge for commission further compound sales account reconciliation between the seller and the bank. Now let's look at cashier reconciliation challenges. 1. Account reconciliation between seller and her cashier is also a tedious exercise. 2. Most sellers have sales software that keeps the records of POS sales, but since POS credits is not done same day by the bank, it makes impossible for the seller to reconcile daily sales with her cashier. 3. Most sellers have more than one POS machine. Tracking sales per POS terminal is a challenge because POS belongs to different banks. 4. Balancing of daily account on what was sold cash and what was sold by POS transfer is always a difficult task except for those whose electronic invoicing is capable of handling it. What solutions does POS Analyzer offers to a seller in her POS machine? POS Analyzer is a cloud-based solution software designed to complement sellers' existing software. Once a POS transaction is successful or approved, a snapshot of the details of that transaction is immediately uploaded into the cloud-based server, which has the analysis engine built with different financial institutions' algorithm. It tracks all approved POS sales per terminal per department or sales branch. It tracks sales per cashier per bank. It provides seller with clean and accurate data to challenge bank data. It provides a template in which bank's data can be uploaded and reconciliation is done in a minute. The seller can remotely monitor all POS sales irrespective of location. Reconciliation between the bank and the seller and the cashier is done in a minute. It provides the seller with amount transfer through POS, amount expected to be deducted as commission and what should be credited. All this helps in quick reconciliation with bank statement. How can I get POS Analyzer set up for my business? Send email to sec@smartdriveportfolio.com or evansuko@gmail.com. Call 0803-342-8469. Setup fee is N3,000.00. And request to be set up. More details will be emailed to you. Visit our website for further details. www.smartdriveportfolio.com. It costs just N3,000.00 setup fee. A workspace will be created for your organization in the cloud. Call now and get set up. We can also install on client's